Dear Aleeza and Rabbi, how do you avoid, this is quotations, the friend zone with a girl? So this is from a guy, because he said girl. First of all, what's with the girl? Why not woman? Like, why can't we just elevate?
I don't know. It depends on their age. Okay. It depends on their religious background.
Okay, let's just say it came from a 16-year-old.
Okay. This is a podcast for 18 and up, Rabbi.
Okay, it came from someone who just turned 18 yesterday.
Okay, good. Sounds great. Okay, so the friend zone. I had a webinar that I did that was called Friendzone Frenzy. That was our little, cutesy thing.
You like these sticky titles.
I know I like sticky titles. And we talked about this. Like, how do you, I wouldn't say how do you avoid the friend zone, because he's already in the friend zone and he gets friend zoned right away. So let's just assume you can't avoid the friend zone, but what can you do about it once you're in the friend zone?
Exactly.
Okay? I think that's a more realistic thing. I think fighting the getting into the friend zone is a problem. And I think that you should start by just accepting the fact that you got friend zoned, and how can you get out of the friend zone and into the I like you zone, and let's try something.
I'd like to throw something out there that's going to be really controversial.
Ooh, yes. All ears. I'm listening.
I don't think that single guys can friend zone women.
What?
I think they always have a little interest.
Okay, that's not what I say. I always say that when people are in the friend zone, when couples or friends are in the friend, not couples, friends are in the friend zone, that there's always interest on one side or the other.
I don't think that platonic relationships work.
No, I don't think that it's always the man that's interested.
No, I agree, but I think that the man has always an ulterior motive.
I don't know. I talk to some guys and they're like, no, they're just a good friend, totally not interested, but they give good advice, but they're easy to be around.
Then they're
comfortable.
Created such a barrier for their emotions that's going to be hard for them to get into a relationship. That's actually not good for a man.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't experienced, listen, I'm not a man, so I don't know, but I haven't experienced what you're explaining. When I work with clients, I usually hear, and we talk about this. They're like, well, I'm definitely not interested. And I was like, well, then they are. They're like, no, they told me they're not. And I was like, well, somebody's lying, because in that friendship, there's always one side that has interest. There's always one side that has interest.
I think the 4 male listeners that we have, they're
going to side with you.
If they actually dig deep and this is an issue, they're going to be like, yeah, you're right. If
there's always interest? Yeah. I mean, if that's true, then I would advise women differently.
The women need to know that. They're friend zoning, they're trying to be nice, they're trying to but they're really waiting to move.
Yeah, I just don't believe it. We actually really disagree on this point. Every time you're saying it, I'm like, I want to believe it, and I can't. I don't actually believe that to be true.
How about this?
Okay.
I challenge you to start asking some guys that you coach
and
ask. Mentor.
Okay, you got
it. Start asking them.
No, I'm going to ask a whole bunch. I'm going to get on the phone tonight. I'm going to ask.
And
I'm going to take a survey.
And just say, like, be honest. Like, not just be honest, but...
Like, if you're being real with yourself.
If you're being real with yourself. If you're really being real. Like,
okay,
that girl that you're always going over and da-da-da.
No. I'm going to try to prove your point wrong before I go doing all this research, because I feel like I've done the research. If that were true, then any woman who was in the friend zone that was interested in going out with a guy, she would ask him out and he would say yes. And that doesn't happen.
Because she doesn't ask him out.
They do, because I coach them and I tell them to ask them out. They ask them out, I'm telling you. And they say no. Now, why do they say no? Could be like, quote, I don't want to ruin the friendship, which to me says I'm not really interested.
No, or I don't want to ruin a good thing, which sometimes even leads to something more.
No, but they don't, there are some people, they're really not interested. I don't buy into your philosophy. I'm so sorry. We're knocking heads today. I don't buy into this philosophy. I really think one side, I'll tell you what I don't believe. I don't believe that friends are just friends and one side isn't interested. I don't believe that there's just a friendship without one side having an interest in the other, to even if it's to a small degree, but to a degree. I do believe there's always one side that has a little desire for something more. Which side? But I believe that there's one side that always has a desire, which is why if this person gets friend zoned, I would say do your best to hang around them, be in their presence often, be loving, generous, kind, warm, engaging, playful, fun, entertaining, take them out, treat them, kind of like treat it like a date, even though it's not a date, because you're in the friend zone and you're being friendly. But because I know that friends can convert into relationships, if you just use the friendship to get it going, you can ask in the right moment. Now, they might turn you down.
That I agree with.
But you can use that to forward the relationship, and in the right moment then say, I really want to give this a real shot. I don't want to just like go out as friends. Like, I want to call this like a date. Can we try a date?
There's also some people who always friend zone. And it's kind of like a defense mechanism. Because they've been...
just like slide them in.
They've been...
It's a friend. Zoop, slide them to the friend.
They've been abused, or they have a really strong defense mechanism for whatever reason. Yep. There's trauma, there's issues there.
Yep.
And so they just friend zone everybody.
Right. Okay, so that's like a heavier case with trauma and whatever, but I don't know that that's like it's not like an everybody thing.
Right. I would say that one of the things that we really wanted with this podcast is that it's two matchmakers, a male and female matchmaker. So I'm happy that these kind of challenges are coming up, because I'd still like to challenge you to reach out and...
I really want to know what all of the listeners think about.
Yes.
I really want to know what your thoughts are, because we have a disagreement here and I want you to settle it for us.
Please.
Okay?
And so, all four of you guys, please defend me.